Hello, friends. Hello, everyone. I'm Victoria.
I'm Laura.
And we're missing our third, Francesca, who is still on holiday, but because she's so dedicated, she's sent a message for you guys. So we have a video from Francesca to play. But welcome to Novel Nights. We are back. Did you miss us? We did not have Novel Nights last week. We were on holiday, Novel Nights, but we're back and we're super excited to share with you some back to school Kindle edition recommendations. So if you're a Kindle reader, if you're a Kindle lover, maybe you're new to Kindle and you've been thinking about dipping your toes into the world of reading Kindle, then today's live and today's video is just for you. So you're going to learn about Kindle. So if you're super new, you're going to learn. But if you're a big fan and if you're reading Kindle, you're also going to get some great recommendations. So I think today's episode has a bit for everyone. So hang tight, stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Francesca.
I'm Victoria.
I'm Laura.
And welcome to Novel Nights. Yay! Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to Novel Nights, our weekly live show. We're really excited because we're talking all things Kindle today, Kindle Unlimited. So if you have a Kindle, if you've been thinking about getting a Kindle, hello, Black Friday, Christmas, holidays, put in your requests. But if you're an avid Kindle reader, we have some exciting recommendations for you all. So today is like I said, all things Kindle. But before we get into it, let us know in the comments, how has your week been going? Have you been doing anything new, anything exciting? Any life changes, life updates? It's September, it's a brand new month. Fall is upon us. So let us know in the comments what's new with you. But Laura, what's new with you this week? Let's hear about it. Anything new, anything exciting, any changes? What's going on?
So I just got back from Puerto Rico. I was there for a weekend. I took a long weekend to go to Puerto Rico, see my family. And it was great. It was nice. And then it's a short week, but it's been a short and mighty week. I don't know about you, but it's been busy. I'm cramming everything in 4 days. It's ridiculous.
I know. It's like, you know what? We should have just gotten a whole week off because I feel like long weekends, I love them. Don't get me wrong. I still love a good long weekend, but it's not feeling like enough because I used to love long weekends because I'm like, okay, everyone is off work, meaning no one's bothering me. So now I can get the extra stuff in, but it's just not working. We need more days. We need more days.
Hours. We need more hours. I can't. It's been nonstop. Just basically, I was telling you, I was finishing one project. Within a minute, I was jumping to the next project, and I'm just ready to crash.
Listen, same. But good news is tomorrow is Friday. Yay. So we just have to survive one more day. But I'm so glad you went to Puerto Rico. I'm so glad you got to see your family. On my side, I did not leave the house. However, lots has been happening. My Substack community is up and live. Now, I know I had shared more about Substack in a previous live, but I was kind of preloading content, but now we are on real time. So I shared 7 new September books that I read and loved that I think you should add to your reading list. So if you haven't already, join me on Substack. I'm also going to release the fall reading guide, the 2024 fall reading guide on Substack first. So it is landing on Substack next Tuesday. That's what now, September 10th. Yes, so I'm really excited for the fall reading guide. I've been doing reading guides well, formal PDF magazine reading guides since 2020. I've been sharing what to read on the internet since 2016, but we formalize the thing. So so I've been working on that, and Substack community, but it's been exciting, but again, lots and lots to do. But like we said at the top, we're here to chat Kindle today. And if you've watched any video with me ever, I've always said Laura is my Kindle guru, okay? Anytime I have any questions about Kindle actually, let me start from the beginning. She influenced me to buy a Kindle, right? So the actual Kindle I own, which, hold on, yep. The actual Kindle that I own is courtesy of Laura. Okay, so Laura is the reason I have a Kindle. Laura influences me. If the Kindle tells me how to use a Kindle, just everything, what to do. She even gave me my first couple of Kindle recommendations. So yeah, that's what today's episode is all about. But I really want to throw it to her so she can just, do a Kindle introduction, just in case you, like me, were new once upon a time. So whoopsie daisy, let's switch this. Yes. So Laura, take the wheel.
All right. So first things first, we got to talk about what's the difference between a Kindle, Kindle Unlimited, Kobo ebook, Nook, and everything else.
Yes.
Essentially, it's e-readers. So around 2010, there was an introduction. Amazon introduced the idea of e-readers, where you get a paper, you get a PDF form. It's called an EPUB right now, and basically you can read the book. Essentially, the same thing. It's supposed to be cheaper, but really costs the same price as like paying for the book itself. So if you're reading in the US, you're likely to know about Kindle, which is the Kindle app. There's just all bookstore you can buy on Amazon. There are other systems like Kobo, which are mainly international. Canada does that. Like libraries send ebooks to Kobo. In the US, is through Kindle. But the Kindle, you can use an actual e-reader like Victoria has. You can show your kid your e-reader, or you can actually use the app. So the app works in tablets like iPad, Samsung, Android tablets. You can read on your phone. You can read on the web, just in the web version of it, or you can read it on your Peloton. They actually added the Kindle reader, so you can read while riding your bike. So essentially, you're just like reading books as it does. You can buy books. You can also get them from your library, as I mentioned in the U.S. Other countries, it might be other process, might be Kobo and whatnot. And essentially, you just read books online. It's the same way as reading like a book, like a physical book. It's just the same idea. The information is the same. Nothing changes. It's just the way. If you're actually one of those people who like to have bigger font, I actually enjoy the e-reader better, because I can actually increase the font size. As opposed to in a book, you cannot increase the font size. If you have struggled with, I know a lot of people says like, I've been on screen all day. It's like, what should I do? Kindle e-reader. I would say a Paperwhite or e-reader, e-ink, is different from a blue light, because it does not have blue light. It's essentially like reading a paper, and it works well. It doesn't have glare. You can take it to the beach. It doesn't have any issues. Most of them are waterproof. So there's different models that you can get. You can start with the basic model, and it works perfectly fine. I would also recommend, if you're going to buy e-reader, to just don't bother buying the most amount of memory. A lot of times, like, I need to have 32 gigabytes, and like, you really don't. You can be fine with 8. I have in my e-reader about 5,000 books, and I'm still with 8, and I still have memory. So that tells you something. So you don't need to buy a lot of memories, because a lot of you don't need to use it. If you're in the US, you can get library books, which is exciting. I personally use the iPad. I've been a Kindle e-ink reader for a long time, but I found the iPad to be much better for me. So there's different ways you can read them, but you can read them on the go. Why I like about Kindle, it's because when I was in 2016, I was in a weird job situation. I had really a lot of free time. And so I discovered that I can actually just download books, like read a book on my phone, finish the book, and go to Amazon and download the next book and the next book and the next book. And so somehow that year I ended up reading like 300 books. Kid you not, because I was just able to just consume them right away. And I can consume them at any point where it was in line. I can just pick up the book and read the book. I can go like, go down the street and like, hey, I have like waiting in the doctor's office. I can just like pick the book there. It does nothing to carry on. You can find the book on your phone. You can get your iPad. You can have your e-reader. And it's just like a great place to read on the go.
So I have a question. So for folks out there, let's kind of do a mini recap. So you have Kindle. So Kindle Unlimited, you can do it on your phone if you want to. You can do it on an e-reader if you want to. You just download the app, a tablet, and your big computer. You can sign up for Kindle Unlimited and read from Kindle Unlimited.
So this is separate. So Kindle is Kindle, and Unlimited is different. So Kindle is any book that you can actually show up on, you buy on Amazon, you see a paper copy or hard copy. Chances are there's an ebook version of it that you can purchase. You can purchase a book at any time. There's also the libraries actually has an app called Libby, where you can borrow the ebook from the library, and they send it over to your Kindle. So it's instant. Yes. So it's like instant gratification. That was one of the things. I don't have to wait for shipping. I don't have to wait for a mailbox and get book mail. I can just get my book like 2 minutes. I'm like, I kind of want to have this book right now, and I just get it like right away. If there's a book is out of stock, it's not really out of stock on the Kindle because there's plenty of stock. It's a digital download. So what's the difference with Kindle Unlimited is that it's Amazon's lending library. So it's a little bit different than Kindle book. A Kindle book is any book you can buy and it's e-reader. At Kindle Unlimited, essentially is Amazon's library. So you pay a fee for $11.99, or you can get it cheaper in different ways. If you buy a new Kindle, you get a free Kindle Unlimited subscription for a couple months. Or you can actually buy an annual subscription. The price has decreased. It used to be a really good deal. Now it's no longer like a good deal, but you can find ways to get Kindle Unlimited. But essentially what you do, you pay a fee, it's essentially like Netflix, and you can borrow up to 20 books at a time. Some popular books are included, like Fourth Wing, Red, White, and Royal Blue. Like a lot of popular books are out there, are available in Kindle Unlimited, where you can borrow them. So you don't have to pay for them. And you can borrow them, you can read them. If the book leaves the program, but you still have borrowed them, the book still stays in your library until you return it. So it's a really easy way to try out different authors, different ideas, different genres, different places. Frida McFadden, all her books are on Kindle Unlimited. So if you want to, you cannot borrow them from the library. They're only exclusive on Kindle Unlimited. So you can borrow the book, you can read the book, you can do all the stuff, the author gets paid, but you don't have to pay for it. You just pay the membership fee.
Gotcha. So Kindle is, so when people say Kindle, it's a way you can read material that's online. Okay, cool. In an electronic format, I should say. So electronic format, you can read it on the Kindle. Kindle Unlimited is Amazon's whole lending program, their whole catalog, where you pay a subscription fee and you can read books once they're in their catalog. So then you have the readers, so the e-readers, like the one I purchased. This is just a method. So you don't need this in order to read Kindle or Kindle Unlimited, right?
Yeah, you can, as long as you have the Kindle app on your phone, you can read Kindle books. If you have an iPad, you can read Kindle books. If you have a Peloton, you can read Kindle books. If you have a computer, you can read Kindle books. There's a way to access those books. It's just basically you just log into your Kindle app and your library is already there. You won't have missing books. You're like, oh, I don't know. I bought this book 20 years ago. I forgot about it. If you have your Kindle, it's there. It will tell you if you read the book and you're like, wait, I thought I read this book. And it'll be like, oh, it's actually read. I read it this year. So all your books are stored there. It's a pretty easy way. You can save highlights. You can highlight things. You can look for, if you don't understand this word, like what does a word mean? You can actually click on the word and it will give you the dictionary. It will tell you like the description. It'll tell you what other people are liking. So it's a way to really read and to have your library. Essentially, my Kindle holds 5,000 books that I don't have space for that library.
Yeah, I agree, because it's so funny when you were saying, oh, I think I have that book. Where is that book? Like, there is a book I'm literally hunting down right now. I know it's somewhere. It's in a box. It's in a pile. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You can always just go straight here. You can find it. You know if you have it. And I do like it. I also like the convenience of just throwing this in my bag sometimes and just being able to read on the go without, lugging a whole bunch of books. So for someone who is curious about Kindle and reading specifically on Kindle Unlimited, what are some things you think they should know?
So don't get overwhelmed by all the options. There's the one thing I to tell you, there's the world is your oyster and there's so many options. There's a little bit of everything. So if you're getting starting out, just start out with like maybe some of the recommendations you may have seen on social media. Like chances are a lot of recommendations, a lot of creators and people who are starting on this reading journey, they start with Kindle Unlimited because it's a low cost barrier. You don't have to pay, you only pay $12. You can try as many books as you want. No one's telling you not. And you can just DNF those books. You're like, hey, I didn't like this book, or yes, I love this book. And then I go back to the rest of the series. So it's a great place to get started for you to not feel like, if I didn't like it, I didn't lose the money after spending $30 buying a hardcover and then realize like, oh, this book is not for me. One thing you can do, which I've been doing, is you can send samples of the book. So it'll send you the first 10% of the book so you can read a little bit and understand like, hey, is this book for me? Is the writing works for me? Is it like, does it feel good? Does it hook me that I want to borrow the whole book? You can send a sample, and that's a great way to get started. You're like, hey, this sounds good, but let me just give it a little bit more of a try. Essentially, if you're in a bookstore and you're like scrolling through the books and you're like, let me just sit down and read a little few more pages. Same idea, same vibe, not having to pay for it. Do that, give yourself a chance, try the book. If you like it, then you can just have the option to get the rest of the book. If you don't, you can it's totally fine. And for Kindle Unlimited, I would say start out with like some of the recommendations. I think there's a reason why they're tried and true recommendations. Another place you want to look at is the top 100. On the Amazon, actually, Amazon has like the bestsellers, and it usually tells you like, here's what people are looking for, here's what people are writing. And most of the bestsellers are Kindle Limited titles for a reason, because it's Amazon Lending Library. So it just gives you another step. If you're looking for genre recommendations, I have to say Freedom McFadden is a top 100 for a reason. It's really, it's unputdownable. Like they're fun, they're twisty, they're they're not so gory. They're thinking psychological thrillers, and I think those are really good ways to go. And there's enough in the backlist you can bench read a bunch of them, and you're like enjoying the process. I've told, and this is a try and true, not for romance readers, but like for general readers. I would say Freedom McFadden is like your try and true person. You can just like get started, connect, and then there's a whole world of unputdownable thrillers out there. Like you can just like borrow them, and there's like options for read and listen, because Amazon actually has their own imprint. And one of the things they do is they publish books on Kindle Unlimited, but they also publish the audiobook for free that you can borrow the audiobook. So you can do both. You can do tangent.
See, you're reading my mind, because I was actually going to say, you told me this really cool thing where you can listen and read. And yes, ever since then, my mind has been blown.
Yes. So one of the things, if you do not the Kindle Paperwhite, but the e-reader, the app, if you do the app and you put the audiobook and the book, you can do the both things. Like the audiobook, the narrator is going to narrate you, and it's going to like talk to you about you're going to see the words. Another option that Kindle Unlimited does, not Kindle Unlimited, the Kindle does is, and I know Francesca shared this, is screen to text out reader. So this is not an audiobook narrator. This is AI basically telling you, like, it's just like a reader telling you the text reader. So screen to text reader, there's an option for that. So if you have this idea, like, you know what, I need to listen to it at the same time, or I don't have time and I just want to listen to a little bit of pages, that option is available for accessibility purpose.
Yeah, I think that's super, super, super cool. Again, that was like a mind-blown moment. Now, again, like I said at the top, Laura influenced me, which is part of the reason why I have my e-reader, and I love it. Just because I am that person who's working on a computer all day. So I want something with no glare. It has low light. I sleep. It doesn't wake up my husband. It works for me and my life. Now, when I purchased this, I purchased it on a special, and she also told me, oh, don't do this, do that, and then you'll get this discount and so on. When I tell you she really is my Kindle guru, she is. So let's say there's someone who's been wanting to get an e-reader for some time. I know you told them don't get obsessed with memory because you have thousands of books and, your memory is good. But the holiday seasons are coming up. Maybe someone can write a little note and leave somewhere, and someone will gift them e-reader if it's something they so desire. What is something they should look forward to? What is a good time of year in terms of they want to dip their toes into Kindle Unlimited? What are some kind of things for people who are really, really new and want to get started? What should they look forward to?
So this year we haven't had that many good discounts. So like if you're looking for discounts, like we haven't had that many. We're due for a new model since I know the Oasis, which had the buttons, actually was discontinued. So they might be getting a model, but there's some rumbling around it. If you're looking for a Kindle, there's a couple ways. If you want to save some money, you just I just want to start it and I don't want to pay full price. Look at Unclaimed Baggage and some of the secondhand stores where you can get like electronic secondhand, and you can just give it a refurbished Kindle Unlimited, Kindle e-reader. If you're looking for a model that's actually worth the time, I like the Paperwhite because it's a little bit larger. It's comfortable. It's not heavy. You can just get like a nice little cover. You can get a pop socket. You can put stickers. You can decorate. You can get a skin. You can do you can have it like your way. But the Kindle Paperwhite, I like it better because I'm getting older, so I need a bigger screen. But if you want a smaller screen, you want like a portable that can fit your belt bag, like your Lululemon belt bag, then the basic is the one that can fit for that. It's 6-inch. The other one is 6.8 inches. If you're looking for when you're buying the Kindle, you want to make sure that it gives you the 3-month deal. So the 3-month KU deal, they don't make it that obvious, but there's one that gives you a 3-month KU deal, and that saves you $35. So you might as well just take Jeff Bezos for $35 and borrow as many books as you want. So make sure you have the 3-month KU deal. If you have an older Kindle, like an older model, you can trade that older model and they'll give you a 20% discount. And you're likely, depending on the model, you can get $30 gift card or $5 gift card. So that's that's a savings that you're making. So you can do that if you have, and it doesn't matter. You just have to have an older model. You let them know I have an older model. Can you just give me the discount? And so that way you save some money. Like try not to pay full price. It's not worth it. It's Amazon. So let's just save some money where we can.
I am team, I never like to pay full price for everything. I am always the person in the store. So sorry, salespeople. If you're out there in sales, I am sorry. But I'm that person who just has to ask, is there any sales, any discounts, any promos? What can you do for me? Well, I hope some of these tips that Laura has shared are helpful to you. Again, I got mine on a deal. I got the discounted membership and all the bells and whistles because I paid attention. So needless to say, you all need to follow Laura on Substack because she is sharing the things. Join her email list. She is my Kindle guru, anything Kindle, sales, specials, stuff your Kindle day, earbuds day, all the things. Just follow her, okay? Yes, because she'll give you all the things. So, folks, if you use Kindle, let us know in the comments. We want to hear from you. If you like Kindle Unlimited, we'd love to hear from you. Do you have one of the e-readers? Do you read on your phone? How do you read ebooks? Do you even read ebooks? Whatever your situation, we want to hear from you. So let us know in the comments. If you're watching a replay crew, we want to hear from you too. Okay, so we are going to get into some recommendations. Again, our third, Francesca, she's not here. She's in Greece, but she sent in some recommendations for you. She also shared a bit from her trip. So if you want to see some Greek scenery, you have to stay tuned. Okay, we get lucky. We get pictures. We get a little, Zoom and all these things. But yeah, stay tuned to see some of the Greek scenery. But since I don't read as much on Kindle, I'm just being very honest here. I'm going to go first with my recommendations. Okay, So the first book, let me get my cover up. The first book I am recommending is Enemies Abroad by R.S. Gray. Now, I really enjoy this one because it's about two teachers, and I love stories with teachers, and these two are rivals. So we have our narrator who has this really, just not pleasant relationship with her co-worker. And they end up having to chaperone a trip with students, right? And this trip is going to Rome. And just imagine two teachers who don't like each other going on this trip to be chaperones. Of course, things, what can you expect? It's going to be very antagonistic. However, this novel is very witty. It's very funny. So if you love like enemies to lovers, or no, not enemies, rivals. It's more rivals to lovers, teachers who prank each other. I love teachers who are pranksters. So if you like any of those things, I think you'll really enjoy this one. So like I said, these two teachers, they're rivals. They are chaperoning a trip with children going to Rome. I think they're like in the 7th or 8th grade. And while there, things happen because, children overseas. However, we see that because they're forced to be together, you realize, okay, well, this guy always had a thing for, he had always had a thing for her. There's a little steam. So if you're not big on steam, this book is for you. But yeah, I just loved it. So we see two teachers, again, rivals, and they turned lovers. So I had a lot of fun. So I highly recommend this one. The second book on my list is an Olivia Dade book. Now, I know Olivia Dade through her traditionally published books, and then I discovered, oh my gosh, she has stuff on Kindle too. So the book I'm recommending is Teach Me. Now, this is book 1 in a 3-book series. The series is called There's Something About Marysburg. Y'all can see it on the cover there. But anyway, this is another story about a teacher. So clearly I have a thing for teachers. I love them as the main characters. And there's this teacher, she's a history teacher, and her class was given to this other person. And when he gets a class, she's a bit like, she doesn't like that. And even though he's a very kind person, she's rather cold. But at the same time, even though she's cold, she finds it super hard to kind of resist just, how kind he is and how warm and pleasant. So we see them as they work together. And then we see them kind of, they catch some feelings. They learn more about each other. They learn more about themselves. So this is a book where you're going to get personal growth, lots of vulnerability. And of course, we see their relationship kind of develop. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Like I said, this is book 1 in a 3-book series, but it can be read as a standalone. And again, I know Olivia Dade through her traditionally published books. I love them. So it was really nice to see that she's on Kindle. And then the last book I am recommending is The Hookup Equation by Roxy Noor. Now, this one is, again, I love me some teacher, right? Teachers. Now, this one is a teacher-student romance, right? So I just gave you one with 2 teachers. So teacher, 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 teacher. Now, this one is teacher-student. Now, this is also a part of a series. This is actually book 4 in the Loveless Brothers romance series. However, these books can be read as a standalone. So in the Hookup Equation, we see this young girl. She's 20-something, young 20s though, and she gets involved with her professor. And they kind of get involved, kind of, how should I say it, like a chance encounter occurs. And we see them kind of having to navigate how they're going to deal with their relationship, which is, kind of like a forbidden relationship, which in my opinion makes for a really good romance. And because again, teacher, student. So he has his career he's worried about. She has her career that she's also worried about, but she's also a scholarship student. So we see her kind of dealing with that. So this one is set in a, college environment. Like I said, she's like a young 20-something, but this one has lots of humor. This one isn't so dark. You know how sometimes you have the teacher-student romances and sometimes they're a bit dark. This one is actually more rom-com. So you do get, romance, there's humor, the secret relationship element kind of ups the ante, I guess you could say. But of course, like any true romance, you get a happily ever after. So those are my three Kindle Unlimited romances. So my question is, Laura, how did I do? Did you read any of these books? Are you familiar with any of these authors?
Yeah, Iris Gray is my comfort read. It's like anytime I'm feeling like I'm feeling a little anxious, I just read Iris Gray because they're comfort, they're rom-coms, they're just funny, they're witty, they're adventure. It's not too spicy. It's just a fun time. It's a fun romp. And she does produce if you need like standalone, like not long series, these are great ones to just good palate cleanser.
Yeah, I loved it. It was so fun. I'm super glad to hear she's your comfort read. Okay, share with us your recommendation.
We're gonna go dark. I hate to tell you. We're going for
light, right?
Light. We're gonna go
easy. Now you're giving us dark.
Yeah. So when you think about Kindle Unlimited, you think about book talk, you think about bully, dark, angsty, just going all the way. So we're doing a lot of it. There's no student teaching here. It's a lot of it. It's dark high school bully or college bully or just morally great characters. Like you're like, I don't think this is attractive. These are full of red flags. So if you're in therapy, these are the guys that you just want to stay away from. But you just might as well just enjoy them. So the first one is Divine King by Karina Kent. This series is a long series. I think it's the first book in the series. Is a 3-book series. Yep. Did you see it? We can start with the Zodiac Academy if you want. Okay, we're going to start with Zodiac Academy. We're going to start with the book that started all for me. So this is a fantasy. This is romantasy in some ways, but it's a lighter urban fantasy. Essentially, it's about twins who were sent over to foster care, who were, I don't know, for some reason, they were called back to this magical academy in this Fey world. And it turns out that they're heirs to the throne of like this whole world that's happening of fairies. And so there you go to the Zodiac Academy, which is basically this weird class, kind of like Harry Potter, but with sex and just dragons and everything in between. It's a rom time. Like it's really fun. It's just addictive. The writing is not that good, I have to say, but for some reason, like if you power through the first book and you get through it, you're just gonna be golden. There's 10 books. They're long books, but they're addictive. Like I literally spent a month reading these books. I'm almost done with the last book, and it's just like I just don't want to end. Like it's just a fun time. Carolyn Peckham and Suzanne Valenti have books in other areas and other series in the same world. So if you want to still stay around with the Zodiac Academy, there's more books around it. This is not reverse harem or white shoes, which is in that case, that trope is we'll have a couple of those, but essentially it's one main character has multiple love interests. This doesn't have it. There's some bullying at the beginning, but just the guys have to grovel for that stuff. But it's a really fun time. It's just like it's addictive. So if you're looking for a good escape, just pick the Zodiac Academy. All books are on Kindle Unlimited. There's 12 books in the series. There's 2 novellas. There's 1 book based from the guy's perspective. And so, yeah, just go down the Zodiac Academy. There's Reddit threads if you have questions, if you need moral support. There's a large Facebook group around it. So you got a community along with just reading this series. So that's the Zodiac Academy. So then we're going to go to the next one, which is The Ritual by Chantal Tessier. So this is another popular book in Book Talk. and it's extremely dark. So this is Secret Society. So this book should have been dated last week, but I was like, it's too dark for Secret Society. So essentially they're killers. They're part of they go to this college, and they are assigned part of their secret society. They're assigned women to be their partners from the last year. They're supposed to be celibate for the first 3 years of college, and then they go wild the fourth year. And so the main character gets assigned as the female, and who happens to be in a relationship with another guy, and within the same secret society. And this whole scandal is going on, and then somehow it's check the trigger warnings, because it's just like he kidnaps her just as the other plays. The other guy's like chasing her. It's just trigger warnings galore. He kills people for shits and giggles. Like he just, unalives people. So this book is dark. There's 5 more books in the series. I feel like there's a new book that came out just recently. So if you're looking for some really dark, angsty, check trigger warnings, this book is for you. And then there's more books in the series. So that's pretty much where we are. So the next one is Lords of Pain. And this is a reverse Karen or white choose. And again, white choose means there's just one female counterpart, and there's like 2 to 3 or 4 or 5 or more male counterparts who are their partner, who are their romantic partners. So this is a high school bully. Like it's a college bully romance. So she knew these guys, they were her bully, and somehow they chose her, and they were acting. Essentially, the bully romance idea is that, it's like playing when you're a little kid and you're like, this guy didn't like you and just like beats you up. And it's like, and your mom tells you like, it's because he likes you. It's the same idea. That's the trope. That's what it comes down to now in the grown up. It's like, he treats you like shit. Oh, he likes you. So it is part of it. It is a good time for, if you're looking for red flags, this is a good book to look for. So Lords of Pain by Angela Lawson and Samantha Rue. Okay, the next book is Hannah for Prep by Jay Bree. So this is you can borrow the omnibus, which has 4 books. So it's a 4-book series. It's not a standalone. It's basically you're going to go through it. Essentially, the main character is from the wrong side of the tracks, and she gets a scholarship for going to this prep school, and she wants to just get out of the situation she was living. So she decides to go to school, and everyone made her life a living hell. So there's a couple guys who make her a living hell. There's the queen bee who makes her a living hell. And we're trying to figure out how she can actually go around it. And it turns out she was also involved in the mob at some point. So there's a whole mystery surrounded with it. There's a whole different drama. There's bullying. And then the queen bee and her became besties at the end of the book. And the book 1, it's not a spoiler. And then the next few books is about their story, about like how they figure out the boys, be their partner. So this is another white choose romance. The next one is Filthy Rich Boys, which is another white choose. This one's high school white choose and bully also. So same story. Basically, boy didn't like her. Boy wants her. He basically acts out. Multiple boys acts out, and she's basically falls in love with them. So that's Filthy Rich Boys. Then Divine King is Rena Kent. This is the one that we just started. So this is a heroine, wanted to be a good student. She just wanted to just get out of school and just do what she needs to do. And the Aiden King, the head guy of the school, basically put her eyes on her, and basically he wants her, and at the same time he doesn't want her. It's a part of a trilogy, so it's not a standalone. It's a bigger world. You can go into Rena Kent's world, and you can just be just like Zodiac Academy. You can spend months just reading all her backlist, and you're gonna have a good time. So it's a fun world, just to go for it. It's set in England, I think. This is when it is. There's a couple books to check the trigger warnings, because there's a lot of non-consent and dub consent, dubious consent. So there's a lot of questionable situations, but if you want some darker stuff, Deviant King and Rena Kent's World will be good for you. Now we're going to go to Karak by Penelope Douglas or Penn Douglas. So this is Devil's Night series. There's 4 books in the series. The books have been traditionally published, so you can buy the actual paperbacks, but you can get them on Kindle Unlimited. It's about essentially it's a college night where Devil's Night is perfect for the season, like spooky season. So essentially, like everyone goes crazy, and so the main character finds the guy who did something he wasn't supposed to. They go to prison, and there's revenge against her, and they fall in love. What else can you ask for? So that's corrupt. There's 4 more books. There's 3 more books in the series and the novella. So there's like, this is a perfect like October read for you. And the final book is All the Little Lies and by S.J. Silvas. This is a high school prep. She left the school 5 years ago and is coming back to school, and her former best friend is no longer her best friend, and he's not her bully. And so we just get to connect with like what happened and how they evolve in the relationship. There's a couple, I think there's 3 more books in the series, so it's a longer series, but they're follow different couples. So this is it's interconnected standalones, but that's another world that you can dive into. So I gave you worlds that you can spend time with. You can just go binge read a couple of these, and you can spend a good time,
Yay! Well, I have to tell you all, I was getting live feedback. So if she had like a camera and was vlogging when she was reading Zodiac Academy, I was like a live participant. Let's say that, because I haven't read it. But like, she would send me voice. Oh my God! Like, this is so bad, but it's so good.
Yeah, it's like I remember reading the first one. And I was like, I don't know what I read, and then I was like, I think I had I felt like this need to was like just pick Zodiac Academy. I was like, I don't understand why, because I have other books to read, and these are dedication. These are long books. They're not like 100 pages. It's like 1,000 pages long or 1,500 pages long. And it's like, it reads like fan fiction. Like, it's just like, you just want to go dive into it, and you cannot stop reading. This is what it does. It just reads like a really good addictive book, and every book builds upon itself, and you just want to be in this world for as long as possible. Do I think some of the books were money grabs? Yes, I do. But do I really enjoy them? Yes, I did enjoy them. But they were really money grabs. I understand. Because FYI, authors get paid for how many pages were read. So if you notice, some of those Kindle Unlimited books are like 1,000 pages long. Guess what? They get more money than a 300 pages long book. So yes, it could be a money grab.
Listen, I always say books don't have to be like good for you to enjoy them. So I just love books like that. But I have to be honest, when you were talking about this one, I know you said it's dark, but it's also like a TikTok darling right now. But I'm like,
I think you should try it. I think you should try The Ritual. It's a really good time. It's essentially, if you think about the husband did it, and the husband did it, like, oh, he did it.
Oh, I love those books. The husband definitely did it. I am team the husband always did it.
Yes, and it's a secret society, so it's like you're just like in this rich people secret society world, and you're just like, we're just contract killers, and and there's like a marriage convenience, and he's not supposed to own her, but he does own her. Oh, it's a good time. So yes, I would say just read it.
Awesome. I just want to say hi to Zach. Zach shows up to Sunday Book Mail Unboxing live from time to time. So hi, I don't know if you're still here. Let me know if you're reading anything good lately. But yeah, I'm really excited about what's it called? The Ritual. Yeah, I think I might give that a try, and maybe one day I'll go down the Zodiac Academy rabbit hole. But anyway, you guys, I want to share Francesca's recommendations, but also the beautiful scenery. So, all right, let's hear from Francesca, who sent in a video.
Hey guys, it's Francesca, and I'm here to share my recommendations for this week's Novel Nights. It's my last week here in Greece, and I'm excited to be sharing with you guys some back to school Kindle recommendations. I do have quite a few that are student teacher romances, and the one that I'm going to recommend first is a student teacher. However, you can read the whole series. It is all like high school themed, and the series is the Forbidden Wishes series by Whitney G. The student teacher romance is the I Wish I Would Have Chosen You, is the second book in the series. You can read it as a standalone. The first book in the series is between two characters that are in high school, and the hero of the story is actually dating the heroine's twin sister. The twin sister and the hero are actually influencers, so there is a bit of a reason why they cannot break up. And the heroine is trying to apply to get into music school. It's definitely a toxic romance, and this whole series is plenty of like angsty, forbidden, toxic romances. So definitely want to check out if you're in the mood for that kind of vibe. Another one that is set in school also, and it's an older book, and it just popped into my head immediately when I was thinking about romances that are set in school and kind of like a back to school vibe. It's Puddle Jumping by Amber L. Johnson. The hero of this story is actually autistic, and I think that it does give you a very sweet vibe to the romance between the two main characters, so definitely one that I recommend even though it's a little bit older. And again, if you want some angst. A lot of the recommendations that I have for you guys today are going to have quite a bit of angst, and I think that that translates really well to the back to school romance vibe. Now, I was also really digging for recommendations that were a little bit different and maybe not the ones that you see everybody recommending, and I remember one that I also read quite some time ago, and this one is set in college. The heroine is going to Paris for culinary school, and the romance in this one is between her and the master chef that's teaching at the school. This one is more on the erotic side, so if you're looking for a spicy recommendation, then definitely check out this series. The first one is Devour Me by Kaylin Gao. It's the master chef series, and it is one that you have to read all the books in the series to get the full story. It follows the same couple throughout the series. But if you're looking for a foodie romance but with plenty of spice, then it's one that I definitely recommend. I also have a ton of recommendations that are usually male romances set in college, and I had to pick one that the whole series is one of my favorite kind of tropes, which is the nerds and jocks pairings. The first book in the series is Schooling the Jock, and it's the Nerds versus Jocks series by Eli Easton and Tara Lane. I definitely recommend the whole series. They're really fun, lighthearted books. All set in college, all kind of opposites attracts. Again, one of the characters is usually a nerd, the other one is usually a jock. All the sparks, all the chemistry. I really enjoyed them. And if what you're looking for is hockey romance, I also have another little bit older recommendation for you guys, and it's Shameless King by Maya Hughes. This is hockey romance, so I guess if you're a fan of like Al Kennedy or any of those kind of books, then definitely check out this one. It used to be quite popular, but I don't see it talked about a lot lately, so definitely wanted to bring that back to your attention if you're looking for hockey. And I have two more recommendations. One is sweeter and one is more of our problematic recommendation. The first one is Blue Notes by Carrie Lofty. This is set in college at a college in New Orleans, so it does have that New Orleans vibe, and the heroine is a prodigy. She's a pianist, and the hero is a kind of billionaire playboy tortured past. He sees her playing at a concert and he's infatuated with her. He's just gone through the tragic death of his parents, and she also has plenty of her own drama as well. So it is definitely an angsty book, and if you're looking for the musical vibe in college, then definitely this one will give you that. And for our problematic choice of the day, it is a student teacher romance set in high school. It's an oldie, but one that I enjoyed at the time, so I had to recommend it here, and take it if you want. It is Veiled Innocence by Ella Frank. It's a standalone romance, and again, this is one that may make you uncomfortable or question things, but it's one that I really enjoyed at the time. I don't know if I would still enjoy it now if I read it, but definitely I wanted to still mention it here. I do really enjoy Ella Frank's writing style, although I think that lately she's writing more male romances, so still one that I wanted to mention here as well. And those are all the books that I have for you guys today. I will see you guys next week back home, and I'm just going to give you guys a little glimpse of what my trip has been here in Greece. See you next week. Bye.
so just nice and warm. I mean, I know we live in Florida, but that just looked more warm and inviting and nice, no?
It looks beautiful. I'm like, can I just go there? Can I just like work from there? Like, would it be just great?
I just wanted to jump in the video. Oh my gosh. And I know it sounds wild when you say you live in Florida, but no, that just looked so much nicer, so much more inviting and fun. But anyways, yes, Francesca will be back next week. The trio will be reunited, right? So we have lots to look forward to, right? Check out our upcoming shows. We have quite a bit to look forward to. We just did the back to school kid edition. So next week it's fall reading. Okay. We have fall reading list, fall reading guides. We have all the things coming, right? So I guess you could say this is the last opportunity for you to grab those summer things because yes, next week it's all about fall reading and the fall reading guide. We've all been working super hard on that. So yeah, there's that to look forward to. What else is going on? Subscribe to our channels. Have you liked the video yet? Have you shared the video? Subscribe, hit the notification bell on all our channels so you can stay tuned with what's new and when we go live. We are on Substack, so you can find us over there. We have podcasts. There's lots of ways for you to kind of, get content in the in-between. Am I forgetting anything, Laura?
No. Yeah, if you find us, one of us in Substack, we recommend each other. So you can just join other people. We can recommend each other. So it's easier to find us, like,
yes,
all the places. But yeah.
Yes. No, that's a good point. But yes, I hope you'll join us next week. Again, we meet every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's 7 p.m. New York time. So I hope you'll join us. And with our sign-off video, this is the last time you're going to see Summer Anything being promoted because the next week we are full steam ahead for fall, which honestly is my favorite time. Okay, I just love the fall. Again, I know I live in Florida, so there's no trees changing outside. But listen, I'm wearing sweaters inside. I'm drinking the pumpkin things and eating the things inside. So don't worry about it. We're enjoying fall in our own unique way. So I hope you'll join us next week. Again, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. All righty, everyone. Bye.